One of the biggest misconceptions about forgiveness is that people tend to push this narrative that forgiving somebody that hurt you is for the other person. That somehow when you choose to forgive someone, that you are excusing what they did to you, their actions, whatever. That you are saying that, oh, it wasn't that bad, or that you are letting them back into your life, or you are choosing to forget about what happened. And I don't think that that is true at all. I used to think that forgiving somebody meant that if you truly do forgive them, that you needed to pretend that what happened didn't affect you in any way and minimize it to a certain degree, that you need to try and see their point of view and all these things, that you continuously need to give people chance after chance after chance. But I did realize after a while, and with growing up as well, that the action of sweeping things under the rug or never addressing them and saying like, no, actually I want to forgive you, but actually I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm feeling this type of way. I would replay situations in my head and conversations, imagining like different outcomes, asking myself over and over again, why did they do this? Why is this happening? Why was I treated that way? I didn't deserve that. And a lot of times you will never get an explanation or an answer that would satisfy that feeling you have. And a lot of times there isn't even an explanation from the person. At some point, like, you need to wake up and realize that you have a choice. I could have spent years standing in the exact same spot emotionally, constantly reopening wounds and asking like, why? Or I could choose to change and let go of that in order for me to become a healthier and better person. And no, that absolutely does not mean that I forgot what happened, that I want reconciliation with those people. I'm definitely not excusing any behavior, because I don't even excuse my bad behavior. So switching from a victim mindset to a mindset like, you know what, I want mental freedom from this situation. What you did to me no longer consumes me or controls my emotions. Trust me, you do not want to become that bitter person, that person that is always stuck in their head thinking about past things. You don't want to feel like you are in a constant state of survival mode and letting past situations or people steal joy in the moments where you actually need to be happy and living. You also don't want to be filled with rage and anger all the time. It doesn't feel good. Forgiveness at the end of the day is just choosing your peace and having full control over that. Forgiveness does not mean that you're giving access back. You can forgive someone but never pick up the phone when they call. You can forgive somebody without rebuilding a relationship with them. Please understand that many people will say, oh, but you're bitter, you're what. But boundaries does not equal bitterness. It's definitely like that saying, like, I wish you well, I hope life treats you well, but I don't want to sit at the same table as you anymore. Like, you go be good over there and I'll do my thing over here. Now, coming back to the more victim like card people like to play, just because you choose not to play the victim in a situation where you clearly were doesn't erase what happened to you, okay? I want to stress this like very prominently. There is just a difference between acknowledging this happened to me versus building your entire identity around that, saying, why does this always happen to me? One is going to honor your pain, and the other one keeps you trapped inside that same repeating loop. And a lot of that plays into the fact that you need to accept that you can't change the actions of others. You can't change what happened in the past. It already happened. It is how you now choose to live your life going forward. You can't go backwards. So just sit down and ask yourself, what do I want my life to look like from here? Because I do deserve peace. I deserve to be happy without constantly thinking about old memories. I deserve relationships in my life that aren't filtered through old wounds or keep attracting people that have similar patterns from people from your past. I deserve a nervous system that is regulated and I feel in control of my emotions. Forgiveness won't happen overnight. It comes in many forms, and sometimes it's forgiving somebody over and over and over again. Every time emotion resurfaces, like anger, you feel that, like, oh, I can just hit this person, you know? That is something that is coming up again. Sometimes it's in the way you grieve a certain relationship, not constantly rehearsing what happened, because a lot of us would do it. Something just happened, and then afterwards you would think about it for weeks and months, or maybe years on end afterwards. But what is that doing for you exactly? So the healthiest thing you can do is to shift your mindset. Little by little, as you do this, you will start to see that it will become a lot easier for you to handle situations like this in the future. Because unfortunately, you will run into difficult people and situations for the rest of your life, okay? That is just something that you need to accept, because everybody is not you. They don't do what you do, love how you love. Their actions won't always necessarily align with what you think would be the best thing to do. Just keep reminding yourself that I don't forgive people necessarily because they earned it, but because I deserve peace from the situation. And the thing about forgiveness is that you don't even have to tell the person that you forgive them. It's just accepting, like, you know what, you don't owe me anything else. You don't even owe me an apology, but choosing to set yourself free from whatever it is. And at some point in my life, I was also in that mindset, like, I can't do this anymore. Until one day I was like, God, please, I seriously can't do this anymore. I can't keep feeling this way. I can't keep beating myself up and having all of these hundreds and thousands of questions, like, why? Like, why? Always something. It's always something. And I just had this thing come into my body that said, like, wait, why am I letting this control me? And I literally just closed my eyes, picturing the people that hurt me the most. And obviously I was carrying a lot of resentment and anger towards them. And I just said, like, today I am choosing to forgive you, not for you, but for myself. And from there, guys, everything has just become much lighter. We will still discuss a lot of things I went through in the process, but it has made me such a lighter, happier version of myself. And I love that. And I want that for you as well. So please choose your freedom.